What has become of that investment, and are you looking in that direction also? Former Governor Peter Obi has talked so much about how much of prudence that he introduced into the governors in Anambra State, and perhaps that could be a very good standard. Peter Obi template be working for you. Are you doing more than that? Are you looking in that direction?
I don't know about Peter Obi's template. I'm pursuing Soludo's template. Soludo's template that it takes about using results by being accountable and prudent. It's not, we don't save money for the sake of saving money. I mean, saving money is not an output. It's not an outcome by itself. We put money to produce value for our people. If you don't have something to spend money on, then save it. But if you have something, you can't have your people in the hospital dying and you say you are saving money and so on, and poverty is escalating and so on and so forth. Now, our own fiscal prudence is to be able to cut down waste. We've cut down the cost of governance. We've cut down all manner of, we say boycott all boycottables.
There were some investment. What's your own perspective in a government investing outside of public sector? Because, and I'm making another reference to former Governor Peter Obi of Anambra State, who has talked about how much of investment is made with the resources of the Anambra State government to bring back profit and benefit of to the Anambra people. By the way, what has become of that investment, and are you looking in that direction also?
I don't know why you're turning the interview about Peter Obi. Our interview is about my 2023 budget. I'm not talking about the investments of either any of my predecessors. By the way, the one that you talk about, I don't know about that. I mean, I think there was something I read about, somebody speculated about the value of whatever investment. What I've seen today, the value of those investments is worth next to nothing. What next to nothing. So let's leave that aside. Let's focus on the kind of thing that first of all, you got to rebuild the public infrastructure. That is building for the future. We're investing in our schools. We're investing in our hospitals. We're investing in those. We're creating Anambra as Africa's leisure entertainment hub. That's what we are, modernizing our cities, and backing on our urban regeneration, giving our people life so that they can have quality air to breathe, controlling pollution, dealing with flooding, dealing with erosion that is ravaging everywhere, and so on and so forth. We're not going to leave those. I'm going to say I'm saving money to go and invest in one private company. And by the way, when you talk about investment is not about, going to invest in bakery. That's not what the government is about. Because if the bakery goes down, then your investment goes down with it. You've got to invest in the future.
All right, now,
Peter Obi responds.
We're number 26 and 27 in Wayaka Neko. By the time I left, we're number 1. I want to get price for health. I can go on and say this is what we achieved. But I said the overall measure is MDG. I was number 1. The people who were doing it then was Amina, who is now in United Nations. I was even invited to United Nations to share my experience. I was not owing any contractor who have executed his job. I'm not owing any supplier who has supplied anything. I'm not owing one. Examples are people like Innocent, Xerox Computer. I paid Xerox. We bought the highest amount of computer ever bought by a government in Africa. They are there. HP will tell you the same thing. I paid them 6 months up front before they supplied it to our schools. I paid Innocent 1 year before they delivered any car. You can go discipline and it's on tape, so you can go and verify all this. Above this, I decided from day one that we must have a savings as a state, and we must save at least 10% of my total receipt by the time I leave government. Total money I received while I was governor, Anambra State received, whether it's local government, whether it's state, whether it's our local revenue, IGR, everything was about 500 and something billion naira, out of which they are left office. We had in savings 75 billion naira. And this is how the money was shared, so that you know which one is mentioned. Only one that is bad. The money we saved is A, we saved in dollar. In 3 banks in Nigeria, some of you are working in those banks. Access Bank, Diamond Bank, and Fidelity Bank. In each of these banks, I had a saving of $50 million. Didn't say no. And they were invested at least interest of 6.5%. If you calculate it today, as at that time, it was equivalent of 25 billion, because there were 150 something, 160. If you calculate it today with interest, it's about 250, at least $250 million. These 3 banks are there. I have in each of these banks, again invested at least 10 billion naira in 3 of them, making it 30 billion, at an average interest, call it even 10%. If you calculate it, that money today would have been about 60 billion. Remember, what I left is 75 as we calculated them. So then the third one is investment I did in various companies. NIPP, we have $59 million in it. The one that they're saying is worthless is that we invested 3.5 billion in international breweries. International breweries is what you can call a global company. It's a part of AB InBev, which is the biggest brewer in the whole world. We had a policy while I was governor that any factory, anybody who wants to, foreign investor who wants to invest in Anambra State, we will buy 10% of the company, and under the condition that we sign an agreement with him that he will give Anambra people work to the minimum of not less than 40% of the workers. They built a facility in Anambra State. That facility is there today, employing directly and indirectly over 10,000 Anambrarians. They've been one of the highest revenue source for the state. Even some of their waste, the biggest bakery we have in Anambra State collects waste from them. There's so many things that company has done in terms of helping the state, transporters, this, that, and everything. The shares was at the time being sold at 50 naira. Today the shares is about 5 naira or so, and then maybe that was what was referred. But in overall of what I left is less than 5%.
Okay.
That particular investment is less than 5%. So if you calculate what I left 75 billion. If you go and sell the dollars today, even at 600, is 150 billion. Plus 60 billion of the naira is 210 billion. Even if that one is wasted, 3 times what I invested is still there. When you spread your investment, some will go up, some will come down. But overall, the company is still there. The company is still doing well. It's still part of a global chain and everything. I needed to explain it, not because I'm defending comment by my brother. My brother is the brother. I remain my brother. We're very close. I remain prayerful for him. For other things which I didn't succeed, God has given him opportunity to do it and succeed. For me, yes. So if there's anything pending, governance you don't finish. People are still in government in America. So you stop where you stop, other people will continue from there. I don't look back. It's the governor of my state From always, he's my senior brother. He's even more intelligent because he's a professor. I'm a trader. So he knows more. So he'll be able to do things better than I'm doing it. You know, I've done my little one as a trader. Now the professor is there. He will do his own as a professor. The schools that didn't roof them. That's how government goes. Another person comes, do his own. But let us think about it. Finally, like I tell you people, for those of you who are, please get involved. All of us are going to tell you a good story. All of us are going to say the same thing. But it's who can we trust? Even in this one they're talking about me, some said he kept money and he did nothing. And I said, even in the Bible, the man said, since you know I know, why didn't you keep my money for saving? Even everybody who has passed through Nigeria, who did nothing, kept money, are we going to be in problem now? We have had the money to do something. At least I kept the money. But in this one, I did something and I paid money. Next year's election, please, I'm begging all of you, should not be based on ethnicity. Don't ever do it. The Yorubas don't buy bread cheaper. Neither do Hausas or Northerners buy bread cheaper. The Southwest people don't buy bread cheaper. Igbos don't buy bread cheaper. Let nobody tell you about ethnicity. Everybody's suffering. Do not do it because of religion. No religion buys anything cheaper. No, there's no religion that has one to ethnicity.